Goodluck Jonathan are finally exposed the unexpected few hours ago. That was few days after Buhari was buried, and he exposed everything that happened since 2017 based on everything that Buhari did and what he did to Buhari and all of that. You know, a lot of Nigerians have been asking questions based on their curiosity that who was the man that took over from Buhari from 2017, or is it really the Buhari that actually governed Nigeria till 2023 and Tinubu took over from him? Now, questions have been asked, and Nigerians ask questions based on their curiosity, expecting an answer to be granted to their question. But Goodluck have finally shed light on what really happened. This man has exposed everything as regards what happened to Buhari. I will play the full video. You will hear from the horse's mouth yourself. You will hear things the way it goes, what Nigerians do not even know. You will hear things for yourself. So I would like you to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video, just want to share it. Share it to the social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just want to like it. Like the video, give it a thumb up so that YouTube will recommend it for us. Just stay connected. I'll call you back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now. It makes sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great wonderful viewers, welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, just do what to click the red subscription button appearing on your video screen. Just click the subscription button and at the same time click the bell icon. That's the notification bell icon, so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. A lot of Nigerians have been asking questions, and a lot of answers have not been granted to their questions. They were asking questions as regards their curiosity based on who was really buried in Buhari's compound few days ago when Buhari actually pooped, because it's not only news that Buhari pooped in London and it was announced, and you know, according to report, they rushed him back to Nigeria to actually bury them in Nigeria, and it actually raised a lot of alarm. A lot of Nigerians were asking questions. They said, is it the Buhari that pooped in 2017 or Buhari pooped part 2 again? Who is this part 2 Buhari that nearly pooped, or is it the Jubril that actually pooped and all of that, the Jubril of Sudan? And Nigerians are saying they have the right to ask questions because they never trust the process from the government again. Just like what these people are actually saying now, they're expecting Aisha Buhari and the likes of Osayi and all of that to actually grant an answer to their questions, but these people have not received an answer. Everywhere have been silent since when Buhari pooped, because according to report they said Aisha cannot respond to the questions of Nigeria now because she's still mourning the death of her husband, allegedly, according to report. Those are what a lot of people are actually saying now. Come and hear what Goodluck said few hours ago. This man said everything, what a lot of Nigerians need to know, what they never expected, what they never knew that actually happened before that 2017 that Nigerians were actually thinking that Buhari poof. Come and hear what happened. I will play the full video. You will see things the way it goes. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. You will hear things your ear will actually knock out. You will hear things for yourself. If you can share the video, just endeavor to share it. Share it to the social media platforms. Let it go viral. Let a lot of people get to know what's happening as far as Buhari matter is concerned. And if you can't share the video, just do what to like it. Like the video, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected, you know. Gabasheo and the likes of others actually came out to even debunk the fact that what they said in the regime of Buhari, you know, these people were actually spokesperson to Buhari in the regime of Buhari. They said what they said in the regime of Buhari were actually lies. You know, Gabasheo came out in the regime of Buhari. You already know this thing, but let me just give the new viewers a new cap. Gabasheo came out and made it known in the regime of Buhari in 2017. That was when Buhari came back from London trip, because Buhari embarked on a 3-month London treatment. They went to treat him in London. A lot of Nigerians were actually coming up with the conclusion that the Buhari in question have poofed, just like Yar'Adua back then. And after a while, you know, Osayi took over from Buhari, but after some days, according to the constitution, if Buhari should stay for, let me say for example, if Buhari should stay for like 100 days outside his office and all of that, the vice president would take over. Now, Osayi was already governing the affair of the country. A lot of people were actually falling in love with the way Osayi was governing the affair of Nigeria. Some were even praying that Buhari should not come back again. Those are what a lot of people were actually saying then. But after a while, Buhari came back prior, like few days to the day that Osinbajo is supposed to be reinstated as the president, Buhari came back, and according to reports, the news went viral back then that the thumbprint of Buhari that came back couldn't open the door of his office in Aso Villa. And Nigerians saw the news back then, and when they saw the news, they were like, oh, the Buhari have proof that they want to bring Jubril from Sudan, that the Buhari in question are proof in London, that they hiding it from Nigerians, allegedly. Those are what a lot of Nigerians were actually saying. And they kind of even came out back then, when they kind of came out to buttress the fact that the Buhari in question have proof. Now, according to everything now, they said no, it wasn't that the thumbprint of Buhari couldn't open the office door in Aso Villa, that it was rats that actually chased him out of office, that the time that he actually traveled to London for treatment and all of that rats have invaded his office, and it was the rat that actually took over his office, and Buhari will not be able to work from office. So that was when they said Buhari should be working from home for like 3 months. And according to everything now, the same man that announced the fact that rat have taken over, that same Gabashew, came out after Buhari left office. Like few days before Buhari moved, this guy came out and make it known to the general public in 2025 that what he said back then was lies. You can see everything that is playing out now. A lot of you already know this thing. I just need to give the little cap to our new viewers for them to know what they're trying to watch, because I don't want anybody to be watching this video and get lost. Now, a lot of lies have been told in the regime of Buhari based on who was buried in the Buhari's compound recently, and on the same view, who did they say that they proof in 2037? Now, a lot of questions have been rolled out, and expecting answers. Nigerians are curious. They said they need an answer to everything that they're asking question on, because they said the Buhari in question was a public officer, and they have the right to get an answer to every of the pain that happens to Buhari in 2007. Now, let me play you the video now. You hear things for yourself. Come and hear what Goodluck said. Nobody even expected that Goodluck can come this way. Nobody expected that Goodluck can speak out this way and speak the truth out as regards what transpired. A lot of Nigerians were asking questions about what transpired in 2017. But come and hear what Goodluck said. He said something as regards what transpired even before that 2017 that a lot of Nigerians were actually looking out to. Goodluck spit fire. He said everything that a lot of Nigerians need to know. So I'd like us to stay connected to the end of the video. If you can share it, do what to share it. And if you can't share it, just like it, stay connected. Hear things for yourself. Just stay connected. I'll come back again.
Their own mood is slightly different, because President Buhari has graciously served 8 years. God has helped him serve 8 years, and is handing over not to another political party, but is handing over to his own political party. So the circumstances presently is quite different. But I know the mood of the country generally is because of the issues bordering on the elections. So some people are happy, some people are sad, so all kinds of sentiments and feelings. In my own time, especially the 2015 election, my ministers, my senior officers, people who worked with me, there was this fear that this one that we've lost the election, what will be our fate? Will the new government just throw all of us into jail without giving us even fair hearing? Because government is next to God and decide to do anything. That fear was in the minds of people. Some people feel, could I even run away? Should I stay in the country? But to them, that will not be much of a problem, because it's the same party that is taking over. So the tension we faced then, the Buhari's team may not face the same tension. Yes, some people may have some issues that bother them, but on the average, they will not have that kind of feeling. But it used to be tense, really. And by this time, then of course already I've considered defeat to the president, so that was completely over. And I knew why I considered defeat, because I was more interested in the country than myself, which I advise every politician to be more interested in the country than themselves. Without a country, there will be no president. The problem we have is the electoral management body, INEC, and the security. And I used to give an example. If 2 soccer teams are playing and the referee decides to look the other way, they will enjoy themselves. If people are contesting for elections, should expect that it's like a soccer game. Everybody wants to win. And you must not allow it. the electoral management bodies share more than 60% of the blame. Because if they do their work well, the politicians will have no choice than to follow the rules. They, the security, and the courts. I believe one day we'll get there, but I feel sad now that our electoral process is still wobbling. So we have migrated from candidate to beaver, which is a superior technology. Why do we still have problems? Manual voting, we have problems in this country. Electronic, we have. So where is the problem coming from? Is the independent the electoral management bodies, INEC in this case. INEC has to sit up so that they will not throw this country into conflagration one day. And people must be serious. INEC must sit up. We should commission one of these internationally known IT companies. They will want to protect their image and allow them to build a system for us and also manage it during our elections. We can train our people, but they should manage it. That this last election, they say, oh, one director in charge of IT did this or did not do that. If you bring Google or one of these giants and they agree to build it and manage it for you, there will be nobody in Nigeria will not be involved. So it's be completely neutral. And probably when we get to that level where all those who have smartphones will not need to go to any place to vote. You bring out the, take it, go to your unit and press the button and you vote. You can vote in your kitchen, you can vote in your bedroom, you can vote in your sitting room, you can vote in your car. Even if you're in the US, you can vote. I say, when I took that decision, I was not too exposed to the global election processes, and especially in Africa. And since I left office, I've been leading election observation missions. Even this year, I'm going to lead the African Union team to Zimbabwe when the elections will come up. They already gave me the letter, pending when the government would fix the date for the election. So I've been involved in a number of elections now. But one thing about Nigeria, which I believe we must correct, and which a decision I took when I was the vice president, that if I have the opportunity to be corrected, is this idea of conduct of elections. Probably that made me to appoint somebody I did not even know to be the electoral umpire. And a number of people say you did the wrong thing. Some people felt, well, you wanted to correct something. I feel worried that in Nigeria, our elections are still so controversial. We have not accepted our electoral results. We are the giant of Africa. If we have not gone to the moon, then at least we should be in position to lead Africa in terms of democracy. We should be able to conduct free and fair elections that other African countries say, look, why not do what Nigeria has done? Why not all of us behave like Nigerians in terms of conducting their elections? Our elections have been categorized as one of the worst in Africa. And even if you ask me as a Nigerian to vet, I will admit, because I've been going to other countries. I'm not saying things don't happen in other countries, but we really need to improve our standard of elections. A country like Tanzania, presidential elections don't even challenge in court. Some countries go to the extreme where a completely neutral body appoint everybody. The president has a role in it. Some countries blend. A neutral body recommends people, then from which the president select. So before you are selected, you already pass a basic level of screening. In fact, what I wanted to do if I had stayed in office was that if the Jigas tenure had expired, then I wanted to vote. And I would take people by surprise. I would have called traditional rulers, not all of them, the religious leaders, civil society, the journalists, at least 100 of them into a room. They will not know. We'll get the computers and so on and so forth. Say, okay, nominate the Nigerian you think should be INEC chairman. Everybody will nominate. Then we screen. Then we'll go for another round of now. Even if we sleep that for the whole night, so the whole night, we'll be reducing until we get to somebody who everybody will say, this is this person. I wouldn't even want to give it to any particular department of government or an institution. I wouldn't want to say NJC or CJ, because everybody has an interest. So the best thing is not to get a constant team that will be appointing. But any time that INEC chairman position expires and want to change them, then you just call people. So during that process of selecting these people, one may emerge as the national chairman of the INEC. Then from there you appoint the commissioners. From there you appoint the resident electoral commissioners. So you see that their selection is broad-based.
Any human population that don't give opportunity to women, you are not exploiting 50% of your brains. I told Nigerian women that their votes for 2015 is a vote to liberate them or to imprison them into the kitchen. And I said that when you talk about change, the only thing that can bring a lasting change in this country is implementation of the national conference that all Nigerians gathered to come up with a document and say that if we begin to do things this way, we'll change this country for better. These people who are talking about change refuse to participate. They say they will not implement it. So what change are they bringing? Every time you listen to them, you see the bitterness in their hearts. Bitter, anger, as if somebody has taken their property. Venom. And I said that, look, you cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have a peaceful heart, a friendly heart, you cannot bring peace to people. For you to bring peace, you must be somebody who can forgive. Somebody who brings peace. It's not somebody who will ask people to go and kill that will bring peace. It will bring crisis to us. Especially now that society is so sophisticated and small light arms and small weapons are all over the place. You set this country ablaze. And we will not go back to those primitive days. This country must move forward. The young Nigerians, not people spend like, we are finished. They are my age and above. We are gone. I believe that's why I say I'm addressing the age of between 23 to 18 to 23. So those of you who are voting for the first time, we believe that you people will take us to the moon. My generation have failed. They talk about insecurity, that they will fight insecurity. And you ask, are the armed forces weak? Are the Nigerians in the armed forces weak? If we have problems, what is the cause? Equipment. They don't have platforms. And somebody who wakes up and telling young people of 23 years old that he wants to fight insecurity, ask him, when he was the head of government, did he buy one rifle for a Nigerian soldier? What I call the democratic era, where African countries now have government based on democratic principles, that the citizens elect their leaders. The leaders have defined tenures that they will serve and hand over to another government. That encourages peer competition among African countries. That encourages more economic planning and some reforms. And because of this, the economies of most African states still growing. In the past 25 years, the average growth is about 5.7%. But between the 60s and the 90s, the average growth was about 3%. Because most of the military governments are very ephemeral. They think about how to stabilize the office, not how to grow the economies. Because anybody who picks a bigger gun can throw you out. So that has been the story of Africa. So the economy started growing. But then we asked, how inclusive is the growth? Pure economists will give a number of analyses, but as ordinary person, there are certain key things that you need to look at in every community, every society, to show clearly whether there is significant inclusiveness in the growth. First, there should be wealth. There should be jobs for young people, and of course, the standard of living of the people must improve. Without these key things, inclusiveness will still be one thing. So in Africa, from the African Development Bank studies, about 61% of people
live with about $2 a day. That is 61% of people are poor. About 44% live with $1.25 a day. That is absolute poverty.
No.
And so you still have too many of the world poor in Africa. In that case, though the economies are growing, investment is expanding, some African countries are even investing outside Africa, but there's a limited inclusiveness in terms of the growth of the economy. So we need to move the continent to the next phase, the phase I describe as the developed era, where you are moving Africa from developing continent to a developed continent. And when we talk about that movement, which we are already there, it has started and it is moving. And when we are talking about that, I believe sincerely in the philosophy of the late Singaporean leader, Lee Kuan Yew, who said that to move your nation, you need to select few critical things, and do those critical things very well, and continue to do those things very well. And over a period of time, you see your nation changing. And identify 5 areas that we should look at: government, civil society, and the private sector in Africa, for us to really move Africa from a developing continent to a developed continent. First is political stability to encourage investment. Yes, we have democracies, like I've discussed in this third phase, is the democratic phase. But still we need to fine-tune our democracies. We need to encourage credible elections and peaceful transitions of government. I was in Tanzania as the head of the Commonwealth Observer Team to monitor their elections. And up to this time, we still have stalemate in Zanzibar. That is not a good signal. So though we have democratized, but then we still need to fine-tune to encourage investment. The second is infrastructure. Infrastructure is key to encourage investment and to move the continent forward. Infrastructure is power. Without power, you cannot talk about adding value to your raw materials, and you cannot talk about industrialization. And without this, you cannot talk about job creation, you cannot talk about wealth creation. Transportation is key. Because if you look at Africa, intra-Africa trade within Africa is just about 11% of the global trade. And the key problem is transportation. So difficult to move goods from East Africa to West Africa, or from West Africa to South Africa, or South Africa to North Africa. It's easier to move goods from Africa to outside the continent. So transportation is key, be it air transportation, be it water transportation, roads and railways. And communication is also a key thing. The current economy is knowledge-based economy. You cannot move without ICT. What is the level of broadband penetration? How many Africans can key into ICT to move the continent forward? The third is reforms in the public and the private sector.
They're not going to go up there and say that to him.
Government must come up with clear an environment.
Somebody from the organization.
Government must provide the environment for a private sector-led economic growth. For you to talk about sustainable growth, it must be led by the private sector. Government duty is to provide the enabling environment to encourage competitiveness and reduce rent seekers and clientelism. That's the only way you can talk about job creation and wealth creation for the ordinary people. And of course, the fourth one is that the continents must move away from commodity trading. Now our economy is dominated by commodity trading. And as long as we don't add value to our raw materials, be it solid mineral, be it produce from forests or farms, if we don't have value to that, we're exporting jobs and we're exporting the wealth of the continent. So we must move away from this commodity trading. And the fifth aspect, I came up with a concept I describe as the African Development Action Project. The idea is to harness the entrepreneurs, the community and civil society leaders, young African leaders and financiers on the continent and in the diaspora, as well as the friends of Africa, to focus on one problem at a time in an African country and work to solve that problem through innovative reforms and investment. Because, as I mentioned, you must make reforms in the private sector, reforms in the public sector to encourage investment.
We're supposed to be doing this.
We're not talking about AIDS. AIDS can never help you to grow your economy. There's always balancing between North and South, Muslims and Christians. And Yar'Adua was a Northern Muslim, was the president. And he took over from a Southern Christian, Obasanjo, who ruled for 8 years. So definitely the Northern Muslims wanted Yar'Adua to at least do 8 years before he could come back to the South for another, probably a Christian, to take over. But well, the health issue came up, and it was the problem. And that is why even to allow me to act was an issue. When Yar'Adua was going for the medical checkup, actually a letter was written. Of course, the Constitution says that for the Vice President to act, the President will send a letter to the Senate and the House of Reps informing them. That letter was written. But the person who the letter was handed over to, I will not mention the name to you now, was one of the aides of Yar'Adua, refused to submit the letter to the National Assembly. And Yar'Adua became so ill that he had no control of issues. So we had the country where the president was not available and there was no acting president. Yes, as a vice president, you can take over the responsibilities of some responsibilities of the president. You know, the president of Nigeria has two main responsibilities. First, you're the chief executive of the country, so like a prime minister of a country. That the vice president can assume you don't need any transfer. And I was doing that because we were having an executive council meeting, we were approving memos for ministers, so the government was going on. But there was no commander-in-chief. What is the second responsibility of the president of Nigeria, besides being the executive head of the country? And there's nothing like acting commander-in-chief. Either you're a commander-in-chief or not. But when you become an acting president, you are at the same time a commander-in-chief. So that was lacking, and no country allows that gap. A country like America, you don't allow that gap at all. Yes. If American president wants to, even if it's a weak law, that he require anesthesia, that he will be off for 5 minutes, he will hand over to the vice president. Yes. Before that procedure. Immediately he regain consciousness to take over. But we stayed for some time. And that led to what they call the doctrine of necessity. When the National Assembly felt that the country was in a situation where it was not expected, they now have to initiate this doctrine of necessity, and they now made me to act as a president without the letter from Yar'Adua. So the country was tense. Yes. And under this North-South divide, Christian-Muslim divide, it was really tense. And every day I was hearing about coup. I remember one day, I will not mention the names of some of my friends, Goodluck, vice president. That time I was not even acting. They have not even moved the doctrine of necessity. I was still the vice president. No, you don't have to sleep here. You have to come and sleep in my guest house, and so on. I said, no, I will stay in the state house. If anybody wants to kill me, it's better you kill me in the state house, so the Nigerians will know that they assassinated me in the state house. They know I have not committed any offense. If I decided to go and stay in a guest house, and whenever I'm going, security people would know. And if people go and kill me there, they will now say Indian girls brought apple to kill me. And I wouldn't want those kind of stories. But if they assassinate, it's better that I die here in the state house than being assassinated outside the state house, because all kinds of stories will come up.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can see the way Goodluck actually lambast and labos the Buhari in question. A lot of Nigerians did not pay attention to this Goodluck man when he was actually saying those things back then. They were saying that, oh, it was because the man is a loser, it was because the man actually lost to Buhari, it was because the man is an opposition party and all of that. But everything that Goodluck said, which one is not true among everything? Just point out anyone point at anyone among everything that Goodluck said that is not true, that is a lie. Just point it out, because this man said everything, but a lot of Nigerians, but I could remember, they were saying no, it was because the Goodluck did not want Buhari to actually succeed in his tenure and all of that. That's why Goodluck was actually talking in that way. They said because Goodluck was an opposition party, that was why he was coming up with all those kind of lies and all those kind of things that he was actually saying as regards Buhari and all of that. But Goodluck wasn't even concerned with the fact that Buhari took over for him and all of that, because the moment Buhari took over for him, the moment they announced Buhari as the winner of the election, he gave the power to Buhari easily without any violence or any manner of thing. But Nigerians did not pay attention. When Nigerians actually dislike someone at a particular time, it will be very difficult for them to listen to the person. That's what's actually happening. And that was what happened when Goodluck said all these things on ground. That was what happened, because they were already in love with Buhari. Buhari was already their favorite then, because as at that 2015, when Buhari came and they were announcing APC change, Tinubu actually sold Buhari well. Buhari was actually monetized well for Nigerians. Those are what actually happened back then. They fell in love with him because they believed that the regime of Goodluck, a lot of bomb blasts and a lot of insecurity issue from the Boko Haram and all those kind of things. We did not even know that we will still regenerate to Fulani herdsmen. We did not even know that we will still regenerate to banditry. We did not even know that we still regenerate to all manner of insecurity things like ISWAP and all those kind of things. Nobody even knows. But looking at everything now, Goodluck was warning Nigerians, but many Nigerians refused to listen to everything that Goodluck was actually saying, because they saw Buhari as a savior back then. But Nigerians confided in Buhari so well. They trusted him, they believed in him, because the way Tinubu and APC actually presented him, they presented him as the second Jesus Christ and all of that. Those are what actually happened. But at the end of it, most expectations were actually put on Buhari, but Buhari couldn't deliver. Not even that he delivered little, he couldn't even deliver. But at the end of it, puffing at toll gates, puffing by bandits, puffing by Fulani herdsmen in churches, Fulani herdsmen entering churches, they have the infantry to go to worship centers to puff people and all this kind of thing. Like, the insecurity actually escalated and is even raised to power 5. Those are what actually happened. What of corruption? Corruption was actually working in broad daylight in the street of Nigeria with non-walking stick and red face cap, and nobody even questioned the corruption in question. The corruption was walking around the cabinet of Buhari. It was working in the regime of Buhari boldly, and you know, a lot of money, a lot of my Nigerian money have been mafia. Do you know how much Emefiele mafia from Nigeria? Do you know how much money that this man stole? Do you know a lot of corruption thing that actually took place? Yes, they said Buhari was actually disciplined in his lifestyle and all of that and blah blah blah. Yes, the same Buhari in question, why couldn't he challenge those people that were under him? Why couldn't he checkmate everything that they're doing? And these people were mafiaing a whole lot of money. Now they put Nigeria in a terrible state, and you know, the death of Nigeria actually rose from bad to worse, and you know, all those kind of things. And as if that is not enough, nothing actually changed as regards Nigeria, and the Buhari actually proved, and a lot of people were coming out that don't say anything in as regards the death. If the dead is alive, the dead should perform well and should do better thing for these people. The people that confided in him so well, the people that put their trust in him, the people that actually believe in him and they see him as a kind of savior, is it the same people that he actually put down? Because he put Nigeria down on their expectation, and I said that's not enough. He rubbed it on their face by puffing a lot of people in toll gates in his regime and all of that, allegedly, and you know, in everything that actually happened. And the same man actually poof. You expecting Nigerians not to say anything in as regards him. Where on earth is that happening? Now you can see everything that a lot of people are actually coming out to actually say as regards the Buhari in question, and you know, listen to what Goodluck said again, and you will see that the same thing that Goodluck said is still even happening till now. The voice of the people have been totally suppressed in their own country. Drop up now in the comment section on this video as regards everything that Goodluck actually said regards Buhari. Drop up feel free, see your man in the comment section. As a Ghana dedicated and that one there for you, and share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See my next video. and bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, he pastor. For LAJUPOG watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Leader, why you with the for church? All as LAJUPOG watch TV.